Hello, everyone. I am going live on this morning at 11 o'clock, and I'm actually going to, I guess, share this and invite people, all that wonderful stuff. Let's see. Let us see. Oh no, I really don't like how Facebook does this. I hope I'm in the group. Let me make sure I'm in the group going live because fruit flies are still bothering me. How many other people have fruit flies bothering them? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But I'm not showing that I'm going live in the group. So hopefully it is. Okay, it is. Let's see. I don't want y'all to hear me. That is not a good thing. Let's see. Just tagging a few people. Let's see if it'll let me. Hey, Facebook's not being nice to me. Okay, either way, I want to go ahead and get started. And so I wanted to talk to you guys about this Christian mindset work and why it's so important to me. And I did not prepare any notes. So you guys know that, hey, this could possibly turn into a ramble. But in my note, I wanted to, what do I have here? To tell you why this work is so important to walking in your purpose. So if I just go ahead and get started, I will let you know that, oh, goodness gracious, I remember just starting this process. And you know what? As soon as I decided to do this live, my neighbor decided to do his yard work. So I hope you guys can't hear that. But I decided, in my life that in all of our lives, we have a purpose. And in my life, I knew I wasn't walking in my purpose. I started, while I was in college, I was actually a topless dancer, which I kind of shared that with you guys, why I'm so drawn to the ministry that I've been serving in. I was a topless dancer, and I knew that wasn't, my purpose. I know deep down inside that wasn't it. And my mindset around that was just, all about the money, right? And I didn't see myself as being worth anything really. I knew I could do more than that, but this is what was where I was at, right? And I think that we get there in our lives where it's like you believe or somewhere within you that you're worth more than that you could do more than this, but you're where you're at and you kind of feel stuck, right? So I went from, wow, you asked my family, being this dark person, highly sarcastic, would fight you in in a heartbeat, getting the cops called on me, all kinds of things. And people, they see me today and they don't see that. It's like, Justina, that's not you. They don't see that because there's been so much healing. There's been so much reading my word. There's been so much just tuning in and really working on my own personal development, right? So when I say mindset work, I'm really talking about your personal development. I'm talking about attaching this personal development to your spirituality, because it can go into different directions, and we'll go there, and I'll go there really quickly or soon. But wow, my mindset was just really negative. Like, I'd always have ideas of things I wanted to do, but immediately I would shoot those things down and say, I'd love to do this, but that couldn't work because of this. I'd come up with my own formulations around what could work in my life and what couldn't work in my life, instead of taking the idea, taking the thing that was presented before me or placed in my heart and trusting God in it, and looking to Him for the answers. I would come up with my reasons on why this can't work. So, I did eventually end up, there's one piece that's driving me crazy. But anywho, I did eventually end up hiring my own coach. And when I hired my coach, I was still in a state of like, okay, where is this going to go? Where is my life going to go? Right. And I told you guys the other day how I was doing the makeup work, and that was great. And I wanted more. I wanted more. And I think that idea sometimes can get us in trouble too, right? We should want more, but we have to be careful to what length we're willing to get the more, right? Or we have to be careful if we are acknowledging the more, if we're not acknowledging the more that we already have, right? So there's their fine balance between wanting more. And I remember even this idea of the law of attraction, like I can attract more positive things to myself, not realizing that I had already been attracting positive, amazing things to myself, right? And I say but no, through my relationship with God, through me reading the word, through me seeking his face, I had already been manifesting beautiful things in my life, right? And just to give you an example of some of those things, I had already had my own daycare business. I was doing that. That would have been perfectly fine and successful had I not got an itch to want to do something else, right? And just the blessing of knowing that I was able to shift through my own passions and see those things come to pass. I used to sell Melaleuca. I was a director with the company, doing great, and I shifted into something different. I found myself being able to tackle and try these new things. And oh goodness, the next thing I wanted to try was be a makeup artist. Like God he has really given me favor in the area of being able to try new things, find success with them, and then be able to try something else new, and just step into that. And I didn't see that at the time because I thought there was something bigger than what I already had. I thought there was something greater, there was something better. I was always looking at somebody else's grass, how they say, right? You're looking at somebody else's grass and you're like, oh, they got to have a secret. They have to have something else that's more than what I have going on. Instead of looking at what you have, understanding how God is already blessing it, how he's working through it, and how much more he wants to do with it, right? So then I end up in the makeup industry, and my statistics for success in makeup is just like, most people, it takes them 2 years before they even yield a profit. I was able to do that in my first year of business, and find international work or international publishings and work with regional magazines and have my makeup on television, hair and makeup on television. I did all those things, and I still found myself thinking I wasn't enough. I still wasn't enough, even though I had all these accomplishments and I have all these names and these different things behind my back, as seen in Huffington Post creator, best-selling author, all these things. I still wasn't enough, and I was still searching for something outside of myself. And that came into, this law of attraction piece, that law of attraction that you can attract your own things, or these principles of the universe and all these other things, And I really wanted to share how just that concept alone, that you create your own reality, it was a fine line for me because I knew God was doing these things in my life, right? I knew God was the one doing these things in my life because I prayed and I sought after his face and I read my word and I truly began to change. Like God changed my heart I wasn't fighting people no more. I wasn't getting the cops called on me no more. Guys, the stories, okay? The throwing things at people's faces. Like I was a mess, okay? And God was truly changing me to the point where I can keep my mouth closed. I let people speak. They could say whatever they want. I stayed in situations that were heartbreaking and hurtful to me, but I knew that God wasn't moving me yet. And I stayed in those situations because God was teaching me something. God was breaking me. God was molding me. And I knew that all the success and all the beautiful things that I was experiencing in my life, those things are coming from God. But how do you teach people that these things come from God? They want to hear, this law of attraction stuff and this, visualize what you want and do all these things. I'm like, pieces of that are true. We do attract things in our lives. But I knew that that law of attraction piece was kind of, I knew there was a piece of that that didn't settle well with me, and I couldn't necessarily put my finger on it for a while, but I totally, totally understand what it is now, and I'm able to really like help my clients like wrap their mind around it, that God is CEO of your business, right? And that's why this whole Christian mindset piece is so, so, so important to me, because when I was on my search looking for something outside of, and I didn't know it at the time. I can say that now because in hindsight, you realize what you were doing. But I was looking for something more. I was looking for something outside of what I already knew to be true, which is crazy now that I look back on it. And I would join these Facebook groups and the spiritual entrepreneurs and, magical manifestors and all this stuff, because I wanted to see how other people were doing it. I wanted to see, what are they doing? How are they doing it? Comparing myself, right? And when I joined these different groups, this is when I became exposed. Remember, I told you I would share with you. You can't go outside right now. I'm on my Facebook Live. You have to wait till I get off so I can ask you questions and figure out what's going on. Thank you, dear. So that's my son. I'm asking if he can go outside. But no, you need to wait. So I would join these other Facebook groups, and I would come across the tarot cards. You guys know, or if you're in those spiritual entrepreneur groups, I'm sure you've seen them where they're posting them right there on the thread, right in your face, and it's pick a number 1 through 3 or whatever, and they'll give you a message, and it's so tempting to want to engage in that or get a message from someone that claims to excuse me, have access to this wisdom and this knowledge to tell you about what direction you should take your business or what action you should take next, and even there was another thing too I was going to share too. There was the tarot card situation, muscle testing. That's another one too. Remote muscle testing, allowing people to test you remotely. They're using their own bodies, their own spiritual influence that they have. And if that's outside of God, that's not for you to be able to understand more about your purpose and understand more about your calling. It's not necessarily the best way to go about it, and I was really curious about it. God knows I'm a curious little thing. If you are curious, if you think you are just as curious as I might be, I'd love for you to comment with a 1 or something, or just say, me too, super curious. And I'm grateful to God for how he has designed me to be as curious as I am, because I'm going to get to the bottom of it. That's just me. I'm going to get to the bottom of it. So I was finding out about this muscle testing. I'm finding out about this numerology. I'm finding out about all these things, and they're starting to infiltrate into my life and take my eyes off of the one and true God that I know has done all these amazing things in my life, my business, my family, my marriage, my children, our homeschool, right? And so it was probably about 6 months ago, even a little longer, 2 years ago, I should say, when I started studying with the Splunk Therapy Institute. If you guys are on my email list, I've been sharing a lot about the partnership that is going on with the Splunk Therapy Institute, or I should say the masterminding, however you say that word, that has been going on with them. And it's just so beautiful, so amazing, because the Splunk Therapy Institute is really geared toward, their whole mission is really geared toward counselors and therapists. I'm a coach, and I take a lot of their principles and a lot of their teachings and a lot of their tools and techniques, and I apply it over to the coaching world, because I understand what my clients are going through when they're struggling with the confidence, or they're struggling with the fear, or they're struggling with the worry, or they're struggling with the stress, the procrastination, those type of pieces around walking into your purpose. I also, that's the natural side of it. I also understand the spiritual side of it, where the enemy will attack our purpose. He will attack that mission, that activity, that calling that is on your life. I understand that side of it too. So those two things go hand in hand, and that's where Splunk therapy is so beautiful, because we can get to the bottom of the spiritual issues. We can get to the root and the core of that subconscious belief that is really holding you back from walking in your purpose. That's holding you back from taking action. This is what I do with my clients. This is why every single one of my clients that have gone through my program, they can honestly say to you that they have been able to take action in ways they could never even imagine. And build the confidence to take the action that they probably already knew that they should be doing, right? It's one of those things where they have all these different pieces on paper and it's all over the place, and they're able to pull everything together and start taking action on a clear course, okay? And so this idea of the New Age principles is so important for us as Christian women, because it begins to infiltrate our purpose. It does. When we start looking at these prosperity messages, when we start looking at the law of attraction, even the vision boarding and all of that kind of stuff, it's making us put our focus on our own desires and telling us that we create our own reality, when we know that not to be true as Christian women. We know that our reality, God is the one that creates those things. God is the one, he has authority, right? And we adhere to his authority, even though it's our purpose, even though it's a purpose that he's placed on us, even though it's a vision that we have to understand that vision comes from God, and we adhere to him and we follow his way and his purpose, right? And along the way, again, there are those limiting beliefs that we have. You will hear in different groups, so like, oh, I'll help you clear your limiting beliefs. And we figure out, okay, well, how are you helping me clear these limiting beliefs? And we find out that they have spirit guides. Like, I was literally on a call with a lady, and I'm like, okay, awesome. She helps you clear your limiting beliefs. How are we going to do this? I want to know how she does this. And she has a spirit guide. I'm like, what spirit guide? No, are you talking about the Holy Spirit? Who is leading you to do this work, So I told you guys yesterday that one of my most active, opt-ins, or people are opting in on their own, is the top 5 fears around mind, body, spirit work. Can we do mind, body, and spirit work as Christians? Yes, we can. I'm so passionate about this because I have a bachelor's in psychology. I have a master's in human service counseling. So I understand, the therapy side of the world, where people may be dealing with depression, suicidal people, whatever. As entrepreneurs, we may not be to that point where we're suicidal. And I'm sure there are entrepreneurs that are suicidal. You guys saw Kate Spade. She took her own life, right? She's an entrepreneur. She was a fashion stylist, all of that. So let's not pretend that as entrepreneurs, we're not dealing with our own set of doubt, sadness, depression, not thinking we're enough, our own unworthiness that we have within our hearts, right? In order for us to truly show up and practice and take action at the level that God has called us to, we have to do the inner healing. And you find out, okay, what does this inner healing, what takes place during this inner healing, right? It really is a level of identifying the source. That is the beauty of Splunk therapy, is that we're able to identify the source. And remember, I told you guys about muscle testing. With muscle testing, sorry guys. With muscle testing, you cannot do remote muscle testing. I'm sorry. With remote muscle testing, you need to have that person physically with you, touching that person. But I've been able to have a unique way of combining Splunk therapy and EFT work together to where I don't have to do this physical muscle testing in order to get to the root of the issue, which is so amazing. Like God is just, and I talked with my mentor, I'm like, hey, does this work? Can I do this? And she's like, genius. Of course you can do that. And so, I have my mentors, I have leaders in the industry that I've been able to really just touch bases with. And like I said, the level of masterminding that God has been able to bless me, God has blessed me so much with this, at the level of masterminding that I've been able to do with the founder of the Splunk Therapy Institute, a John Maxwell coach, and then another business coach. I mean, these women, oh wait, there's a man also that we're masterminding with as well. They've been in the industry for almost 20 years. And here I am, 3 years in as a coach and having access to all of this information and all of this wisdom and just guidance and all of that. So I'm so grateful, so grateful. So why am I so passionate about Christian mindset work? Because I know how the world is presenting this. I know how the world is saying that you are your own God in their own slight little simple, like sneaky way, right? You are your own God. Everything is God. We are all gods and we all guide our own path and our own purpose. And it's one of those things where it's like when you really, really have a desire to understand your purpose and you have a heart to serve other people and you want to serve more people. Let me break that down the way the world says it. The world says when you have your own business and you want to get more clients, right? That's a parallel to that, is that you want to have more clients. But why do you want to have more clients? I think for us as Christian women, we want more clients because we want to create more impact, because we want to serve people, because we want to see lives changed, right? Be it you are a hairstylist, be it you are a caterer, be it you're editor, be it you are a coach. Maybe you're your own type of coach. You're a transformational coach. You're a relationship coach. You're a health coach. You help people eat better, all of that amazing stuff. But you're doing it in the name of God. You're doing it in a godly, spiritual way. It's somewhat of preying on your desire to help others. So when you have that desire to help others and people are saying, oh, your purpose, walking in your purpose and getting in tune with all of that, but yet their ideology is leading you in a totally different direction. That is why I'm so passionate about the Christian mindset work that I do, because I know that we can walk in our purpose. I know there are practical ways that we can utilize social media. There are practical ways that we can utilize our content and dig deep and get our content out into the world. If you're on my email list, you saw that I did a blog post. You can go to my blog, justinaford.com/blog, and you'll see some of the practical ways that we can get our content and our message out into the world while still being in alignment with our ideology, still being in alignment with our theology, still practicing these mind, body, soul practices, the inner healing that goes alongside it, and acknowledging the God that we serve. So here we have mindset, strategy, and spirituality. You have to pay attention to that part. Strategy, mindset, and the spirituality pieces, because the people that we're following and we're trying to get mindset and strategy from, you got to listen, go between the lines and understand like what they're really saying, what they're really teaching. Just like a book like Think and Grow Rich. That was a book like if you join the coaching industry or you're in the helping profession and you're starting a business, people are saying, go read Think and Grow Rich, right? And there's so many biblical principles in there, but be aware of the other tone to this, because the biblical principles, people are getting smart nowadays. They understand that there are universal principles. They know that, but how they're going to attribute those universal principles are so important. Something that I will be teaching on soon is why the law of attraction isn't working for you. It's a big one. I know it's not. It's not working for a lot of us as Christian believers, spiritual people that truly believe in the Lord. We're doing our vision boards, you're doing all this stuff, and it's not working for you. I didn't have to do a vision board to see the manifestations that happen in my makeup business. I didn't have to do a vision board or keep focus, wake up every morning and say this mantra and do all these steps for my marriage to be where it is today, right? I didn't have to do those things. It really is, yeah, we're trying to take on these steps of what the world tells us to do. And it seems innocent enough as long as we have our faith here at the foundation. But these actions are over here. We're still taking them, and faith is still the foundation, but it begins to get watered down. And that was something that happened to me. I saw it. My own faith began to get a little watered down. And not so much that I didn't believe in Jesus, not that I didn't go to church, not that I didn't know that God was a savior, not that I didn't believe in the basic principles, but I was allowing these other principles on the new age side to consume my life. And why did I allow those things to be the forefront of my eye? Like I said, it's a trap, because as good people that have hearts to serve, entrepreneurs, we truly have a heart to serve. They get us with that whole how to have more clients, how to get more clients, They always want to give you the end result. But there's a lot that has to happen. There's a lot that can happen from you starting your business to now having a lot of clients. There's a spiritual growth piece. There's a confidence level that you have to rise up to. There's a worthiness that you have to grab a hold of first before you get the clients, right? Because you have to understand what your message is. You have to understand what problems you're solving. You have to understand your own messaging, your content. You have to understand those pieces. You have to understand how you're going to show up, how you're going to serve, how you're going to put yourself out there. And you can do those things while growing in Christ. That's the beautiful piece to this, or you can try to figure those things out while swallowing a whole nother ideology. That's the other piece, right? So this is I know I didn't have the notes for my story. I did not have notes for my story. I gave bits and pieces of my story. Then I started teaching and going into all these other things. But if I bring this fully around, yes, the other thing that was pretty influential, like I talked about the secret, the law of attraction, these tarot cards, these numerology and the muscle testing, and then the mindset work, miracle breaths, but not understanding who these people were adhering to and who their guide and who their foundation was. That's a huge part of my story. As I've over the past 3 to 5 years, as I've really delved into growing my business and really getting the results that I've gotten, those things were not the basis of that, okay? I remember when I let those things go. I told you this is probably like a year now where I was like, you know what? No, we're not doing that. God, I set this down, I set this down, I set this down, I set that down. Here I am. Have your way with me, right? Have your way with me. Here I am. Give me the downloads that you would have me to have. And that is when I had the breakthrough in my coaching business. Okay. That is when I had the breakthrough of bringing in, I booked out my program in December, January timeframe, above the number that I wanted. And I had my first $10,000 launch, right? $10,000 launch for my coaching business. And I know why it worked that way, because God says he's going to get the glory. Okay. He's like, no, put those things down. I am going to get the glory. And that's just the way it worked. Right. So I have something now. I'm going to be writing a book. First of all, I'll talk to you guys about the book. It's called From the Pole to His Purpose, because I've been sharing that story more, and I'm so honored and blessed to be able to serve in the ministry that I've been serving in for the past month and a half or so. And it's just been amazing. And when I went back to this ministry, I was like, you know what, God, you gave me the title to that book years ago, and it's time for me to stop playing. Okay. So we all have things that God is, working on us about. He wants us to take action on. And I definitely want to help you guys with that. Okay. So, right now, I'll let you guys know, if you want to experience, a mindset shift and an inner healing in a way that honors the God that you serve, okay, and allows you to experience God as CEO of your life, CEO of your life and your calling, all of that. If you want to experience a shift and a healing that up levels your perspective around your purpose, leads you to take action like nobody's business, okay? And I'm talking about no more procrastination, no more worrying, no more stressing, no more not knowing what your next steps are. And then I want to invite you to a soul aligned discovery session with me, okay? I'm offering 20 of these. 20 of these. I'm so excited. By application only, ladies. Okay, application. I'm not getting on the phone with people that are not ready. Okay, women who aren't ready for more in their life, more in a balanced way, because we've talked about this, right? I only want to work with women that are tired of playing small. Okay, and that there are some internal shifts that need to take place in order for you to really start seeing the vision of your life and your purpose, in order to start seeing that vision manifest right before your eyes. Okay. So, and you have to want to do this work in co-partnership with God. All right. Because I pray over every single one of my sessions. I pray over those sessions. I pray before we get on the calls. I pray with you on the calls. We invite the Holy Spirit to really work in our hearts. And it's so beautiful to see the work that he does. It's so beautiful to see where he takes us. He takes us in places that you could barely even imagine. All right. I'll just give you an example. One of my past clients, I was helping her prepare for an interview, and we think that we're gonna talk about the interview questions, what she's afraid of, what she's worried about, how we can transition her mind or shift her mindset around those fears and everything. But God didn't take us there. God took us to a time when she was 6 years old, okay, in her past. And I'm not going to share, she was going through something personal, something happened at that particular time in her life. And what that revealed to us is that voice. She was afraid to speak up for herself based on this situation. So we did our EFT tapping around, that particular situation. Our call is an hour. We spent 45 minutes doing the inner healing around that aspect of things, right? And then the last 15 minutes, what kind of questions, this, that, whatever. The next day she had the interview and she got the position, right? So it's so beautiful. And it's not even so much about getting the position. It really is about where her heart was. Where was her heart for that particular position, right? Where was her spirit? Where was her mind? How was she balanced in going into that? Because now she can carry that piece with her in other situations, okay? So I will definitely post a link here in the comments, and I'll probably re-edit the topic or whatever. Girls, guys, I don't even have a link. I usually have a link I can copy and paste real quick in here. But I'll definitely put the link. And I cannot believe I've been going live for 33 minutes. So for those of you that have watched this to the end, 33 minutes, let me know, comment and say, I made it through 33 minutes of you rambling and talking and running your mouth. And I want to give you a special gift for watching to the end. Okay. I really only want this to be 20 minutes, but good grief, I can talk a lot. All right. So I love you guys. I'm so excited to serve you all. And help you, step into your purpose, step into your success, step into a spirit-driven success, right? Not this worldly success that can sometimes cloud our minds and cloud our vision and have us all over the place, all right? So, all right, ladies, I will chat with you all soon, and you guys take care. Bye.